There, now I'm spotlit. All right, so we're going to focus a little bit on our upper body today as we go through and take care of ourselves. Just a little bit of stretching and a little bit of strengthening. Of course, as always, if anything doesn't feel good, listen to your body. Check in with yourself as to how long it has been hurting for, if something's hurting. And if it's been a while, if it's been more than a week or two, this could be your sign from God that it's time to get a professional to help you with it. Time to make an appointment with physical therapy or whatever it is. So let's just kick off with a few deep breaths, transitioning from our previous day to right now in this moment, our break. I'm going to inhale my arms up, pause for just a moment, and then exhale them down. Sometimes this is called a volcano breath. I'm sure it has other names too. And inhaling up again, the deepest inhale I possibly can. A nice couple seconds to pause. Maybe you want to tip a little bit to the left, tip a little bit to the right. And then exhale the arms down, going for a really complete exhale. So all of that air is leaving the body. One last one. Now you're a master at this. So now you're inhaling the arms up, getting a little bit more air in as you pause at the top. And then exhaling, taking your time to come down and let that air out as completely as possible. So now that we've done a little bit of breathing to transition our day, we're going to come into some work with some arm circles. So my arms are straight out to the side. It should be one line straight through my body. So if you had a perfect view, you wouldn't be able to see my other hand at all. It is exactly on the other side of the body. And I'm going to center my circles that I'm making on my shoulders. So if I'm coming forward a little bit, I'm coming back that same amount. Keeping it really symmetrical in my shoulder joint. I'm not having my circle really high or really low. I'm aiming, and maybe you're building to this, but I'm aiming to keep these little circles centered on my shoulder joint. I'm aiming to have a nice long, tall posture through my spine as I do these. I'm engaged through my core. And of course, my legs underneath me are my nice stable base. So you might choose to have your feet a little wider or a little closer together, however it works for you. And we're going to hang out here long enough that it's a little bit burny. So if you need to take a break for yourself and then come back to it, you get to decide when those happen. You will still get stronger even if you take little breaks. Let's make those circles a little bit bigger, keeping them centered on the shoulder joint, but trying to make them a little bit bigger. Now, just as exercise can often be a metaphor for life, when things get hard, it's even more important to breathe. So if things are getting burny for you now, intense, please take a moment to breathe. Whether you pause the exercise or not, keep breathing. Let's take a moment and flip. So the palms are now up, the arms are straight out to the sides, and we're doing circles again. They can be any size you want. If your brain is getting bored, you can also do figure eights or triangles or any shape that you prefer to circles. It's all good. Check in with your shoulders, drop them away from your ears. Check in with your head position. Make sure that your ears haven't come forward. Your head isn't coming forward, out of the position. We're still long and tall here. Beautiful. Bring the arms down by the sides and just do a couple of shoulder shrugs. So I'm bringing my shoulders up by my ears, squeezing, and then dropping them away to release all of that tension that we sometimes hold into our neck, shoulders, traps, all through those muscles there. One more time here. Bring your shoulders up. Give it a good squeeze. And then release and really feel the contrast of the release. We're aiming to release completely. Lovely. So now, sort of continuing with these circles, checking in with our body, we're going to do some neck rolls. So I'm dropping my left ear over to my left shoulder, and then I'm rolling my head forwards, and then over the right shoulder. We go back and forth here. Just trying to release any tension that's built up. Take time to notice whether the right side feels different than the left. How it feels if you go back a little bit further than usual. And if you find any really tight, juicy spots, maybe you want to hang out there. Like this is a good spot for me. Maybe I want to rock forward and back a little bit. Just to explore that spot. And then moving over to the other side. Going back and forward a little bit. Nice. Take one more moment just for yourself, whatever you need to address around your neck. Beautiful. And now let's take a moment to get a little bit of circling in for our hips. They're not really part of the upper body, but they need a little bit of love today. So we're going to bring the hips in a nice big circle. I'm going to bring them over to my right first, and then sort of diagonally forward, straight forward, other diagonal, and then back. Exploring those corners again. So I'm going diagonal, back corner, straight back, other corner, and off to the side. Then you can continue that circle. If this is working well for you, go for it. If this isn't working well because you have a back issue, maybe you want to hold on to a solid surface and just do some really nice big circles around your hip. You're drawing that circle with your knee. You can reverse directions if you're standing and doing the hip circles right now, or you can switch sides if you're doing the standing on one leg hip circles. And one more here. Beautiful. Coming back to our breathing, we're going to separate the feet so we have a little bit of a wider stance now. I'm going to either hold on to something or have my right hand holding onto my hip bone, my leg, something just for a little stability. Then I'm going to inhale my left arm up and over. So I'm getting a little lateral bend here. Beautiful. And then I'm going to exhale that arm back down, just going at my own pace. We're going to repeat this a couple of times, but as you do it, what I want you to think about is long, tall spine, even though I'm tipping, bending, however you want to say it, and I'm still engaging my core. So belly button in, sides of the waist in, and lifting up through the pelvic floor. Aiming for that one more time, inhaling the arm up. And you can see I'm not collapsing through my side. I'm going up and over, almost like there's an enormous yoga ball right next to me. And down. And inhale, thinking about expanding the spaces between my ribs. And exhale. And let's go to the other side. So I've got my stability point here, so I'm not feeling unstable. Hopefully it can help you lift out of your pelvis a little bit better, right? Being long and tall, lifting out of the base. And then inhaling, pausing if it feels good, and exhaling. And let's keep going. You're going to go at your own pace. So if you ever want to pause, if you want to take a few breaths here and see if you can really get into this position, nice and deep, you have that option. But if it feels good to keep moving because you've been static all day, you have that option as well. when we move in and out of positions, there can be joint lubrication that's happening. The fascia that is sitting on top of your muscles can get a little bit sticky, especially if you're dehydrated. So just giving that the opportunity to slide can be really great. Beautiful. Last one. Inhaling, feeling the spaces between your ribs expand as you inhale, and then exhaling completely. Nice. We're going to keep it focused on the arms and the shoulders here. And I'm going to bring my left arm across my body. I'm going to help myself into a stretch using my right arm. And now I've got a stretch that's pretty concentrated into this outside part of my shoulder here. You might also feel it in other areas as well. But I'm going to just check in with this shoulder and I'm going to play with this stretch, dropping the shoulder a little bit further away from my ears and seeing how that feels. Maybe also bringing it up so it's really nice and close to my ear and seeing how that hits. Coming back down to a more neutral, comfortable position. I'm going to play with bringing my hand up. So shoulder stays neutral, but hand comes up to change the angle. And hand comes down, just to play with the angle again. Find where the stretch feels right to me. Lovely. And now we're going to switch sides. So both arms down, and I'm going to bring my right arm across my body, help myself into the stretch with the left, and just playing with the shoulder position first. Do I like my shoulder up by my ear? Do I prefer it down by my, not down by anything, down as far as it goes? And maybe I want to just switch between the two positions. Nice. So now with the shoulder in somewhat of a neutral position, bringing your hand up a bit and down a bit. Now, when I say a neutral position with your shoulder, I'm just meaning whatever feels neutral to you. Doesn't feel like an extreme push to keep the shoulder in that position. Down. Lovely. All right, so now let's take our hands, clasp them behind our back, and take a moment to come into the neck stretches again. So I'm bringing my left ear to my left shoulder, and I'm playing with angles here, drawing my head back in space, tipping my nose down towards the ground, up towards the ceiling, still keeping ear close to shoulder. And same on the other side. So my right ear is going towards my right shoulder. And I'm bringing my head back a little bit in space or forward. Tipping my nose down. Or looking up towards the ceiling. Lovely. We've just got another moment. I'm going to say let's take a moment for our hands. They're doing wonderful things for us all day. I'll come a little bit closer so you can see. But I'm going to start off with my hands in a fist position and doing some really nice big circles. Just going in one direction here. And then reversing direction. Lovely. And then I'm going to take my fingertips and I'm going to put my fingertips together a little bit higher than my elbows, right? Almost level with my shoulders. And then I'm going to drop my hands down in space until I'm getting a really nice stretch through my fingers and the palm of my hand and into my forearm here. Wherever that is. And here I can also play with angles by tipping my fingertips towards me or away. And then we'll start off taking the pressure off my hands again and having them so that my fingers are touching. If you want to, your palms could also be touching, but I'm just going to do it with my fingers touching all the way down to where the palm starts. And then I'll drop my hands down in space again, finding those really good angles. If this isn't as intense for you, and it may well not be, you could push one side in a little bit further or push into the other side, or two sides may well have different needs, and enjoy a different intensity of stretch. And then from here, you may want to do the counter stretch again of hands and fists and doing just one more circle. And that's it. You guys are free to go on with your day.